Welcome to Whilton Mill for the first meeting of the 2024 Motorsport UK British Kart Championships. We're here for the Honda and Rotax British Open Championship presented by Wera Tools. Over 220 drivers across 5 classes are here to compete for the honour of being 2024 O-Plate champions, one of the highest honours in British karting. 2 full days of action with the heats here today on Saturday to kick things off before the finals tomorrow on Sunday. Plenty of champions returning for another year, including the likes of Oliver Spencer, Macaulay Bishop and Kai Hunter, with some new faces as well coming through the ranks of British karting. It's sure to be a very spectacular weekend here at Whilton Mill, a rejuvenated Whilton Mill after track changes in the off-season. You can watch it all here on the Motorsport TV platform of channels. And a very warm welcome indeed to Whilton Mill, just outside Daventry in Northamptonshire for the 2024 Honda and Rotax British Open Championship. Saturday, heats day here in good conditions. Cloudy at the moment over the circuit, mixed yesterday through the practice sessions for all of the drivers for, as we say, the first full weekend of competition in this year's British Karting Championships presented by Wera Tools. My name is Andrew Mather. Great to be with you for the full season. What is in store? We're going to find out here across the course of the next few months. Alongside me in the commentary box, he's been round the world. Great to have him back here in a British Kart Championships paddock. Good afternoon to Mr. Henry Beaudette.
Thank you very much, Andrew, and I've got to say it is great to be back. This is the O-Plate, the British Open Championship. 220 drivers, Andrew. Now, there's a couple of things. I'm going to get through at least half an hour without calling you Anthony.
Yes.
Yeah, you know, that's the first thing. But what I really like about this is that this is the second year that the O-Plate has sort of kicked off the Wera Tools British Championship season, and I think that this could be a real, you know, a real sort of if they continue doing this through the years, this could be a real sort of kick-off in karting. You know, this is a traditional kick-off. I mean, the winner gets the O-Plate. It's open to any driver in the class in the country. The weather today is dry. It's been, I mean, I haven't been here much, but apparently it's been raining in Britain since about November.
Yes.
And it's sunny. It's sunny.
It's because you're back.
And I have to say that things look a little bit different. I mean, we've got a lot of different things, and I mean, I'm massively impressed with all the preparation that Alpha have done. The championship, the paddock looks fantastic. I know that we have got a whole heap of brand new content and coverage to really keep the Wera Tools British Championship and Alpha Live ahead of the chasing pack.
Indeed, and included in those changes are, of course, the new pit bend or pit chicane trialled out in the Whilton Mill Kart Club event last week, but this is the first time that we've seen it in the Wera Tools British Kart Championship. As I say, the conditions are good. Drivers have had a full day of practice and timed qualifying earlier on this morning. Today's agenda will all be about trying to qualify through into a good position for the superheats tomorrow. The ultimate goal, Henry, being in that top 34 for the final on Sunday. Yeah,
so 2 things that I'm really impressed with. Number 1, we're live streaming, we're live broadcasting. We're not allowed to use the S word, we're broadcasting on Saturday, so you get to see the heats. And number 2, a super heat. That is something, a new challenge to drivers, but there's also something new as well, isn't there, Andrew?
Absolutely.
On our side of things.
Indeed. The team expanding for 2024 here for your live broadcast. Let's head down to our roving reporter for all of 2024. Nicole Sutherland, over to you.
In the Wera Tools Motorsport UK awning, we are here at Whilton Mill, bright and sunny, unlike yesterday where the drivers experienced a lot of wet weather, wind. Very excited to be joining Andrew and Henry Beaudette for this year's coverage. We'll be bringing you lots of live action, lots of excitement, and of course, as always, these events will be a big thrill. Looking forward to joining you guys and back up to you in the comms box.
Thank you very much, Nicole. Great to have you on board. Great to have the insights as well from a relatively recent driver.
Still a driver. You know, I think Nicole competed in this last year, possibly. She certainly competed in the Wera Tools British Championship as a Rotax competitor. And again, that is something else that we're trying to bring new this year. We're going to be up close and personal. We've got some new innovations which will bring you as the day progresses. We don't want to overload you, the viewers, too much with all the changes that we've made. I mean, some things never change, and that is the mechanics down there on the grid, the drivers, the karts, new teams, different drivers, moving teams. You know, I'm really looking forward to this. What have we got coming up today? How many races today?
We've got 14 races
14.
today.
A veritable feast of karting for you.
Junior Rotax, they'll be out first. All of the drivers, we should say, from their timed qualifying, particularly for the categories with more than 34 competitors, have all been grouped into Group A, B, C, D, based on how they performed earlier on this afternoon. So it's almost like a face-off, these heats, as we go across the course of the next 14 races and the start of tomorrow.
One thing that I'm going to throw a curveball now, do we have the YouTube live chat feature that we can introduce our viewers to the broadcast? Yes, we do. Hello to everybody out there watching, wherever you're watching from in the world. Keep your comments coming in, and let's have a little look there. We'll bring you up to speed. I can see Albie Lappers, Nan. Hello, Barbs. Good to see you, or hear you, or see your typing, if you know what I mean. Oliver Lomax karting, and there's a former driver. So yeah, please keep your comments coming in. We are going to be the most interactive championship anywhere in the world, and yes, cannot wait to get going. But we've got some go-karts on the demi-grid, Andrew.
We have indeed. The first race is due to move off from the pre-grid in less than 2 minutes' time. It'll be Groups A and D from the timed qualifying which took place earlier on this afternoon, just before the lunch break. That will be the first race for us to enjoy here at Whilton Mill. Very close times. Of course, the time qualifying, it's the 3 average lap formula.
Yes.
Which means, as expected, very close at the top of the order for the drivers that we're going to see this afternoon.
I tell you what, while I take a sip of my Iron Brew, other, carbonated drinks are available, they're just not as nice. Please tell us what happened in time qualifying.
Indeed, so the groups, 3 of them for the juniors. Thomas Min Spearing had the best average time of 46.30, 1/100th of a second quicker than his Argenti Motorsport teammate Harrison Whitcomb. Jacob Ashcroft, running with DHR again this year, was a further 100th back. So yes, the top 3 covered by 0.02 of a second here this afternoon. Harry Bartle and Lewis Goff were also in the top 5. Kenzo Craigie, Harry Freeman, Jacob Jukes, Joshua Smith and Lucas Blanford all making the top 10. Good starts to their competitions. And of course, because it's the new layouts here at Whilton Mill, we saw a new track record in that session as well. Or did we?
Did we? Because our track records only made official in racing.
That is true. That's very
but
true.
We will keep you up to date on the track record. We also, I know that Whilton Mill are going to officially christen the new corner, but for, for our purposes, we've got the boot, and you said we've got the heel.
We've got the heel now, yeah.
That's a great
idea. Ideas.
The disembodied voice in my head is back. And the disembodied voice in my head says that out there in YouTube land, why don't you, the viewers, the listeners, the public, why don't you give us a suggestion? Keep them clean, obviously. And you're not allowed to, the chiropractor is off limits. That's not the name of the corner. No.
Karts rolling out then for the first heat of the day. Junior Rotax, Race 1, Heat 1 coming up. Let's take you through the first grid then. So a reminder, this is drivers who qualified through to Groups A and D facing off for their first 2 heats. On pole position, the fastest driver from times qualifying earlier on this afternoon for Argenti Motorsport, Thomas Min Spearing, starts his season from pole position. Harry Bartle joins him on the front row of the grid. Kenzo Craigie alongside Joshua Smith is row 2. Albie Lapper and Aidan Mitchell start on the 3rd row of the grid. Then on row 4, we'll find Zach Green and Adam Wooden. Row 5, Aris Majauskis for Strawberry Racing goes alongside Joel Dixon Cohen on the top 10 there to complete row number 5. On row 6, it's Finley Buck and Aryaman Bansal.
Yeah, looking further back on the grid, you've got William Archer, Zach Turner, John Richardson, 26 drivers, but they're not using the new corner on the rolling lap. Andrew Mather, please take him to the start.
British Open Championship for 2024 is underway then. Good start for the junior Rotax drivers as they head up to Christmas for the first time. This will be a land of familiarity for them all, and it is Min Spearing who leads through Christmas Corner for the first time. Moving up there is Green. There's a couple of carts off towards the back. One of them, I think, might be
39 and the 67.
It's going to be Oliver Meek.
Oliver Meek was the second car. I couldn't see the number 30, 39 or yeah, Omar Sindhi, the Saudi Arabian driver, sadly. But hopefully they'll be able to continue as we now move around towards the boot. And this is going to be the first time that many of you have seen the new track in action. See, there's no more straight. You can see the old tarmac in there over the curb, hop over. It greatly decreases the last corner speed and reduces the risk of accidents. But, well, someone showing no great decrease in speed is Thomas Min Spearing, 1.38 seconds up at the end of lap number 1.
Yeah, really good start for Spearing at the front of the order. Joshua Smith started well, also up 2 spots for a bit of big news this weekend, of course. Jax Motorsports and Project One going into partnership. That is not good news for Sebastian Lucian, the number 36, and the number 69 of Callum Foster, off there on lap 2 through Christmas as out of the race. Not the way that Oliver Meek would have wanted to start his O-Plate meeting.
But you got fresher tyres for the next race, Oliver. Just think of that. And yeah, it would be remiss as we watch the first. Oh, there was one of the Argenti karts getting a little bit skew there. Was that the number 44 of Kenzo Craig getting all crossed up, coming out of the new corner, which we will out of the final corner. We're going to call it the final corner to start with. But there is the number 53, Zach Green, moving across to the Argenti team this year, chasing one of the host of Strawberry drivers. But yeah, you mentioned the merger between Project One and Jackson. What it would be oh dear, and that's the number 48 kart. That is Aryaman Bansal, the Indian driver from Bangalore. It would be remiss of me to say that obviously we lost Gerard Cox from Project One earlier this year. Of a fantastic service. So one of the most popular, most enduring members of the paddock, and also we also paid tribute to Shelley Barrett, the wife of Mick Barrett, who sadly passed away. So we'll get those out of the way now. But of course, yes, Project One and Jax Motorsports. Jack Marshall, a former Project One driver, as Harry Bartle, a former CIK-FIA Academy driver, set to do fastest lap of the race. There were yellow flags there, Andrew. I can't quite see why, though.
Yeah, I think that might have been for Bansal. The number 48 looked to be stranded towards down the hill into Ashby Corner earlier on. We saw, of course. There's Kenzo Craigie. Big weekend, big season, I feel, for Kenzo Craigie. He's been running well in European competition, but runs a bit deep there on the entry to the boot, and he's going to lose out to the number 72 of Aris Majauskis. There
was a cart behind him. As I'm not quite sure if Kenzo ran wide of his own free will. New fast lap again for Harry Bartle, 47.30. But Thomas Min Spearing's lead still over a second. In fact, it's gone up again. It's up to 1.2 seconds. There's Tristan Rennie in the number, one of the Jack Dex Racing drivers getting involved there. Good to see that we're starting things nice and calmly as Aidan Mitchell, a convert from the TKN Extreme class, gets introduced to Rotax Racing.
We wouldn't expect anything else from the juniors. 4 minutes remaining in this one. Spearing's lead is back up to 1.5 seconds. Ron Meadows is here this weekend, of course, for Argenti Motorsport. We had a chat with him earlier on in the weekend, part of one of the many features that we've got here, bringing you ever closer to the paddock for this year's Wera Tools British Kart Championships. We're on lap number 6 now. There is a shot of Joel Dixon Cohen going up the hill, trying to close down on Kenzo Craigie and Aris Majauskis ahead. Race has got into a bit more of a rhythm now, as down the inside That's going to be the number 42 of Emily Cotty, moving to Argenti Motorsport, of course, for 2024. Another individual that we spoke to earlier on in the weekend.
Our cup of content joy is overflowing, as you will see, as the course of the weekend progresses. There is Ada Mitchell now coming back at one of the KR Sport drivers. Of course, Toby George Motorsport has merged with KR Sport. Toby George now running the Ickle members of the KR Sport team, and Caden McQueen. We got to get used to commentating on Caden McQueen not driving a Croc. He's moved over to KR Sport as well. So lots of driver changes in the off-season. Kenzo Craigie up the inside of the number 72 of Aras Majewskis, the Lithuanian driver. That is for 6th position. And a big welcome back to Adam Wooden, who had a bit of a year off last year, or a testing year, but he's now back in, up at the sharp end.
Yeah, definitely having a good start. He's up 5 places so far in this race. Kenzo Craigie now trying to close down that number 47 Kart up ahead. 2.5 minutes remaining then. Still that lead for Spearing in excess of a second through that new chicane, taking all of the curb there was Kenzo Craigie. You'll notice, well, a little bit of an addition to the chicane from last weekend. The flip-flops, as they're being
because
termed,
it is a flip-flop.
are on the inside now as the number 64 goes down the inside. That's a nice move from Joel Dixon Cohen. We did see quite a few drivers very much taking a bit of a
I gotta say,
line.
the only thing that needs a shave more than me is the curb in that new corner. It's somewhat robust, and the karts are getting airborne. And this is something I wonder when we do the paddock show later on, because yes, ladies and gentlemen, the paddock show is back. We'll speak to some of the team bosses about what is what is that curb doing to some of the chassis. Because we have it up there, Kenzo Craigie, he commits to that curb. You know, a hop, a skip, and a jump. As we've now got 90 seconds plus 1 lap to go. Thomas been Spearing. You know, it's one of those things. When you're winning a race, you expect loads of coverage. But no, because he's up the road and there's battles going on further down the pack. So to Thomas Min and his supporters, we're not shortchanging you. You're doing a fantastic job, but the battles are all taking place further back as there's those that. Now that's a new livery to me, the 64 kart of Mr. Dixon Cohen, and that would be a GWR. The GWR team looking different this year than what they have in the past.
Looking pretty quick.
Oh dear,
as
that
well.
was a shot of Dan Ashton. No one wants to see that.
He is here. He's looking over things as ever. On to, less than 45 seconds to go now. Another new fastest lap of the race from Harry Bartle, 46.58. The first time since the very start of the race. The lead is under a second. Down the inside, Wooden on Lapper, back in business, and up to 4th place.
Yeah, and again, Albie Lapper moving up to junior this year. So a lot of drivers getting their first real taste. Okay, they would have competed in club events. There was a big club meeting here last weekend, and of course there's other club events where you get used to the new class drivers moving up. But this is the first, I would say, real big test of who has moved up without missing a beat, so to speak.
So timer about to run down to 0 plus 1 lap as always. I think we are going to get another one in here. So yeah, 2 more laps for the drivers. A couple of changes further back. Callum Foster, who we saw in trouble earlier on, has just got past Jake Grufferty for 21st. He's made good progress in this race. Cameron Nelson's not done too badly at 4 spots.
Naomi Garcia, the young lady from Trinidad and Tobago. I was very fortunate enough to commentate on her very first kart race about 2 years ago in Florida, and she came away, almost finished on the podium in the SCUSA Winter Series at Homestead as Albie Lapper has a little nibble up the inside of Adam Wooden, who fights him off. But we'll talk about Naomi Garcia. She's very, very impressive indeed, a very talented young lady from St. John in Trinidad and Tobago, but we'll catch up with her later on. But here we go. This will be the last lap. Andrew Mather, not a debutante in the British Champs. It's the first time that we've worked together. And, let's see if we can call them home now. There's a big gap. The top 3 are well clear. This is the battle for 4th.
It is.
A nice, calm battle for 4th to take you home, Andrew. There you go.
Absolutely. So Wooden still ahead of it from Lapper. Craig is closed in. Joel Dixon Cohen in there as well. Spearing, Bartle and Smith should be home and dry. But who is going to take fourth place? This would be worth 4 points in the intermediate classification. To the inside, Wooden defending. Everybody queuing up behind. Zach Green's there now as well. Aris Miauskas and the aforementioned Cameron Nelson. But round the final corner, Thomas Min Spearing takes the first win of the weekend from pole position. Harry Bartle, continuing the good form he had here last weekend in the club meeting, takes P2. Joshua Smith starts life for the Jacks and Project 1 alignment in third. Good starts the weekend for those three.
We will bring the full results up, but a question, Andrew, does that mean that Thomas Min Spearing is now the best placed British Championship driver in the FIFA, no, that's football, the FIA International Karting Rankings?
Well, it's definitely going to do him a good bit of helping with the points. This is the first weekend, of course, where the efforts of the drivers count towards the International Karting Ranking, which last year was topped by Britain, of course, Lewis Werrell.
Yes.
There are your results from the first heat of the weekend. Spearing from Bartle, Smith, Wood and Lapper. That's your top 5. Kenzo Craigie recovers to 6th place. Joel Dixon-Cohen in 7th, ahead of Aris Miauskas, Zach Green and Cameron Nelson completing the top 10. Hugh Moulton, who does like that final sector of the circuit, he told me yesterday, finishes P11. Finley Buck P12. Owen Neve, Aidan Mitchell and Emily Cotty complete the top 15.
So here we go. This is now down in Parc Fermé. So they've come across the line. They have gone through the front nose cone check, the bumper penalties, and now the weigh scales. And this is now the deep in the bowels of Whilton Mill, the technical area. And again, another angle that we're bringing you this year, which is new, which all those young drivers must remember, no swearing when you come into the pits now, because there's microphones and everything everywhere.
We
So
do
behave
enjoy
yourselves.
some-
And look at that there on the top. If we just move the camera down the Project 1 cart there, it's got the nice Racing for Gerard Cox on the top of the NASA panel.
Absolutely. Well, the drivers will come in. They'll refresh themselves. I'll just check when they go out later on. They'll be slightly
Here's
different.
nose cone check.
Like.
It's not the iPad of doom. It's the mobile phone of doom. Oh. Number 69, take a ticket, Callum Foster. Bradley Shepherd Racing's Callum Foster. It's the mobile phone of doom is back into action, and the 39. He was shaking his head as though he knew it. That was Omar Cindy, who was involved in the very first corner, the first lap incident of a Christmas corner. So he probably. And there's a look at the new Carlos Sainz chassis, which I can tell you're very enthused about.
I love the look of it. I had a quick look down in the Hunter Motorsport awning yesterday. Big news, of course, coming up in seniors. We'll be doing a lot of talking about Hunter Motorsport. But yeah, those CS55s looking beautiful. I think it's time for our first live interview of the weekend. Let's head down to Nicole Sutherland in the pits.
So, Thomas, bit of a leisurely stroll for you out there then. You were clear by over a second after the first lap. Thoughts on the race?
Yeah, it was all right. Just had a gap at the start and then just controlled the race from there, really.
We've seen a lot of consistency by you so far, fastest in a lot of the practices, quali, and in that race. So what are your plans for the rest of the weekend?
Obviously to win, but top 3 as well is really good.
Great, and enjoy the rest of your weekend. See a man in second. Harry, can I just get your thoughts on the race? How did that go for you?
Well, the start wasn't great. It dropped to 3rd, and then Kenzo started defending, so that kind of ruined the race a little bit and got Thomas a gap. Then the rest of the race was trying to catch the gap, but I didn't have enough time, so ended as it was.
And for 2024, you've come over from a different engine manufacturer over to Rotax. How are you finding Rotax so far?
It's not much difference, to be fair. They're both same speed, more or less, so it's not difficult to adapt to them, so it's all right.
Great. Have a good rest of your weekend. Harry, thank you.
Welcome back, everybody, to live coverage of the first event for this year's British Karting Championships, organised, of course, by Motorsport UK and presented by Wera Tools.
So this is Junior Rotax Heat 2, which is going on at the moment. And just to bring you up to date on to who was where, Harrison Mitchcombe and Lewis Goff started from the front row. Harry Freeman and Lucas Blanford were on row 2. Josh Turnbull and Charlie Neve were on row 3. Harrison